The governor flagged off and displayed his certificate, and I'm actually wondering what certificate was he really displaying, but from analysis we could see the gubernatorial screening panel to the gubernatorial appeal screening panel headed by Biodun Olujimi, and the one headed by Baraje, that's the chairman of the National Working Committee. But just 24 hours after the governor flagged off his campaign for second tenure in office, the NWC, the National Working Committee, gave a prompt reply by listing out those that are cleared for the PDP primaries in Bayelsa. And I'll read out the name to you: Orofa Bolubo, Henry Dixon, Henal Full Power, Yopele Kalango, Francis Amebi, Ekiyega Korobido, and Austin Febo. These are the list of those that are cleared, and excluded from this list Governor Timipre Silva, the embattled governor, incumbent governor, and Ben Bruce, Timi Alaibi, and Igali Boladet. And this is the reality on the ground now, and this would form the fulcrum of a talking point now. Now, how do we explain, Mr. Oluwemimo, how do we explain this reality? You've seen the breaking news of Governor Timipre Silva. Does it seem that we've had the last?
I'll look at it purely from a legal standpoint. And that is whether or not, if the party insists on not fielding him, the remedies that he has in law. The position is that, generally speaking, the courts will not interfere into the internal matters of a party. Well, of course, we have the exception in the case of the River State governor, but that actually is not a case of interference in the internal dispute of a party. So if he is unable to get the consent of his party to move on, the question is whether, if he goes to court, he would be able to get the courts to look into whether it should have been the gubernatorial screening committee that should have cleared him, or the National Working Committee. Whether the court will be able to do that, I really doubt. But let's wait and see.
Now, from Ms. Adeozu, do you think that the court would determine the final outcome of this process?
I think it's going to be really very difficult for him to establish a locus, because like my learned senior here just said, you find out that you can distinguish between what happened in River State and here, because in River State it's gone beyond the party internal affairs. This person had already emerged through an internal election, as a flag bearer before he was disqualified. Therefore, the courts gave him access. I am not a politician, and I don't know how these politicians do it. But one thing is clear here: we are heading for a crisis situation.
But from this situation now, from this delicate balance, is the PDP likely to lose grip of the state?
Well, it depends on a number of variables. It depends on how much clout the sitting governor has had, particularly in delivering democracy dividends. And again, in the process of midwifing, as it were, a transparent election.
Okay, now let's quickly look at the reactions trailing this disqualification. Ben Bruce was the first to react, and he said it was his dream to build a vibrant state from an impoverished state that is living in the land of the rich. And he thought it was going to be a competition, but now he knows better that it's more of a coronation. How would you see this, Oluwemimo?
Well, of course, we know that Ben Bruce has just come into politics, to the best of my knowledge. And so he may actually be getting some shocks that he never really bargained for. Because we have to know at the end of the day that even before the people decide who they want to elect, it is the party that must first of all select and nominate a candidate. And this is where the difficulty always is for those who cannot cross that political bridge. I really believe that it will be very tough for Bemre Bruce coming from the private sector to cross that political bridge.
Now, a coronation and not a competition. The National Working Committee has also said that this is the final list. Do you think this is actually the final list?
Well, as it stands now, yes, because the Electoral Act gives a lot of powers to the party. And for now, this is what you call truly a family affair. I agree with PDP for once that this is a family affair. There are other situations that do not agree when they say certain issues that affect the life of the whole lot of us is a family affair. But having said that, you find out that in the emerging scenario, I think Governor TB still has a number of options.
Now, Mr. Oluwemimo, is this likely to set a precedent for other state governors in Nigeria?
Quite frankly, I believe every politician must know that when you join a political party, you have to look for a way by which you balance political interests. And if you are unable to do that, then if the party says, we don't want you anymore, it is for you to look for a way to survive or just bow to the decision of the party. You remember that many of those who actually found themselves in other parties were victims of this sort of thing that we are witnessing now. And as soon as they fail to get the nomination of their party, what you see them do is they decamp, they go to other political parties because they still want to be politically relevant. Whether Silva in Bayelsa will do that, I wouldn't know. Whether it will survive, whether it will get the party to reverse itself, I wouldn't know. We are here to wait and see.
Now, let's look at the position of the elders now. They actually pleaded with the Governors Forum that they should keep off from meddling in the affairs of Bayelsa State. Where do you think this is heading to?
Well, it's also all part of the dynamics of politics. That already shows where the elders are tilting to. They believe that the Governors Forum has become a meddlesome interloper, and therefore they should allow sleeping dogs to lie, which means Silva should be out by their own calculations. Whether that works out within the dynamics power play that is going to evolve within the next several hours, it remains to be seen.
Now, we'll take a look at the Truth panel in Ogun State. For now, the panel is under a court injunction, but we just take this from a holistic view now. This panel was commissioned to inquire into the death, disappearance, alleged assassinations, kidnapping, and other sundry matters contained in the terms of reference. The amazing twist on this issue was that the commission was immediately applauded by the former governor, that's talking about former governor Olubenga Daniels, and through his media assistant, stating that the commission will afford the people the opportunity to know the truth against the vile propaganda that have ruled the airwaves. But soon the song changed, and the former governor suddenly jettisoned the earlier position taken the commission to court, requesting an order to restrain the court from further investigating in respect of the former governor and his aides. And as it is now, there is a court order refraining the commission to proceed investigation pending when the court determines the legality or otherwise of this commission. We'll be looking at this as we have the Attorney General now in person of Oluwemo that has been a guest in our previous discussion. Now, you happens to be one of the major brainchild of this commission. And what's the agenda behind this commission? Is it really a witch-hunting commission?
Well, it is not. And I believe this is going to be about the 6th time that I'm going to appear either on the TV or to speak on radio, that the terms of reference actually is to determine whether or not there was any public officer that abused or misused his power in relation to this death, disappearance, or assassination. The Truth Commission is yet to find out whether, in fact, even any public officer was involved. The Truth Commission is yet to determine whether, after the public officer has been found, whether he actually misused his power. The Truth Commission is yet to submit any reports. The Truth Commission is yet to give any recommendation. Even if these recommendations are given, the government is yet to accept any. So it's a long, long, long way. And that is why we believe that it is not a witch hunting exercise. We can't set up a Truth Commission to a witch hunt anybody, because as soon as we go also, the same commission that we use to purportedly witch hunt people will come after us. So why should we do that? There's no reason why we should do that.